Hey guys, welcome back. So as always, if you're not subscribed to my channel already, please do so. I would really appreciate it. And let's get right to tonight's question because it's one that I think is actually pretty interesting. So it's from, let's see, let me make sure. It's from Brian. He says, "Hi Mark, I really enjoy the videos you post on YouTube. You give good advice and I know you've helped a lot of people. Plus, I like how you make your pec stance, so thanks for that." Yeah, I saw that in the comments section of the last few videos I did. And Brian, I have to tell you, it's getting harder and harder to make them dance the older I get. Pretty soon these things will just stop. Well, they may dance, but not intentionally. It'll just be when I'm walking down the street or on the treadmill. But I digress. On to your question. He says, "Having worked in the adult entertainment industry, I'm sure you've come across a lot of fetishes in your time." Indeed, Brian, I have. Mine is one that bothers me a lot. I like to think that I'm a nice guy and I don't like hurting people. However, the thing that turns me on sexually more than anything else is the idea of punching other men, young and well-built, in the stomach. I've even done this a few times with escorts, but I wind up feeling like a freak after the initial excitement is over. If you could answer me by email or respond in one of your videos, I'd appreciate it hugely. This fetish really affects my self-image negatively, and I know it's not healthy. Thanks, and keep up the good work." All right, so guys, I just want to say that I actually took the time to write a email in response to Brian answering his question, but I also decided to make a video blog out of it because I thought, one, some of you may find it interesting, and two, some of you may find it to be helpful. So, Brian, I think that it's very hard to figure out what the root cause of this fetish is, so I can't be much help there. With just a superficial introductory email, it would be crazy for me to attempt to figure out where this fetish stems from. And even if I knew you, it would only be a very, very general opinion anyway, because I'm not a clinician, I'm not a psychologist, I'm not a psychiatrist, I'm not a counselor or any of that. So keep that in mind. But it could be. I just want to state this. It's possible that this stems from something else, that the punching the person, it's not necessarily that you enjoy hurting them. It's a means by which you work through some other issue or some other feeling. So it may not be the actual hitting of the person that you find that's the primary motivator. It could be just a means by which you are working through some repressed feeling or something you've experienced when you were younger. Or there could be a mild case of sexual sadism there, where that is what you enjoy. And to be quite honest, that's not uncommon. As a matter of fact, it's pretty common to varying degrees. Now, I do think that it becomes unhealthy and problematic when it's taken to the extreme, even if you have two consenting adults. I mean, some of those sadistic requests that you hear from people are troubling. But believe it or not, this is really not something that should be affecting your self-esteem, provided that you're still able to maintain concern for the other person and that you use some degree of restraint. So as long as those two things are there, I don't think that you should think of yourself as a bad person. You have a particular fetish that is either driven by, a mild form of sadism, which is common, or it's working through some repressed feeling or something of that nature. I don't think either one means you're a bad person or you should be super self-conscious. But that said, it has to be done within reason, and you still should be maintaining even in the midst of that action, you should be concerned for the other person's well-being. The second thing is, if it really is bothering you, or you think that it's getting to the point of you're not really able to control yourself, or just that there's an unhealthy level of like, I really want to hurt this person, then you should see a qualified therapist. I think that at that level, it might be a little concerning. But from what you've said, it doesn't really seem that that's the case. It seems like this is just a common fetish that you're self-conscious about. And it's something that I've actually had guys, that are into getting beat up or getting punched or things like that. And that's not my thing. It's not something I would do to somebody, and it's certainly not something I would be on the receiving end of. Well, I'll actually tell you a little story. Just a quick little tale. I was in New York maybe 2 months ago, and I hooked up with this really, really cute kid. Very cute. But not quite a twink, more like a twunk, but about half my size. And we're messing around, and he's super aggressive, and he started choking me. And, for a second I thought, well, isn't that cute? I mean, this guy, as sexy as he is, I mean, he's choking me, and I'm twice his size. But then it got pretty hard, and then it was like, yeah, that's not going to work. So like I reached up, I grabbed his hands, and I'm like, stop that right now. But yeah, so it's not my thing. It's not what I'm into. But I don't think anybody should be ashamed of it if they're into dishing it out or being on the receiving end. The only other thing that I would advise you to do is be careful when you're actually doing this, because I know of one guy who was into being punched in the stomach, and he has actually had his stomach ruptured, and that's not something you want to be involved in. So, Brian, just don't beat yourself up over this. It's not wildly uncommon, and so long as it's done within the bounds of reason and the other person is consenting, I don't think that it's really an unhealthy thing. But if you feel that it's getting to that point, go see a counselor or a therapist. That would be the best thing to do. Guys, thanks for tuning in. Brian, thanks for asking your question. And don't forget, again, if you're not subscribed, please click subscribe. I would really, really appreciate it.